What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harrison, and today we're going to be doing a three-part series, basically just kind of going over my kind of excitement level for the big three companies, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. We just had the Summer Game Fest, all that stuff, Nintendo's Direct. We got PlayStation State of Play before that. So I wanted to kind of talk about my excitement level. We're going to start with PlayStation today, just because that's probably what I'm least excited for and going into the future of specifically 2024 and maybe even into 2025. Of course, the PlayStation, we don't know. We got the Wolverine game in development still. We don't know if that's going to be a 2025 game or not. Maybe even 2026. But PlayStation earlier this year already came out and said they're not going to have any major first party releases. So that kind of set a tone for 2024. Now, in the state of play, we did get like the look at Astrobot. That game looks like it's going to be incredible. Like, this looks like it could be. And I know there's been a VR game, and I know there's the kind of the pack-in game on PS5, but this looks like it could be like Astrobot's Super Mario Galaxy or Odyssey moment, where you have a really great platformer, and we don't have a lot of like 3D platformers here recently, so it's always good to have those. And this game does look incredible, and I love Astrobot because it always ties in with PlayStation and their history, their consoles and their games as well. So that game looks great, but that's kind of it, right? With PlayStation, they're in. I feel like they're in a little bit of a weird area right now where there's still the rumored PlayStation 5 Pro that's supposedly launching this year. I don't know why it's necessarily needed. Again, this whole generation between Xbox and PlayStation, like, their consoles feel just kind of not underpowered necessarily, but very underwhelming. This feels like not the biggest leap in going from console to console. It still doesn't feel like we're even in the generation, and we're already talking about a PlayStation 5 Pro. Like, that seems odd to me, and I think a lot of people will agree. Where, like, the first party stuff hasn't really been there. I mean, PlayStation, they had Spider-Man 2, only came out on the PS5, which I did get a PS5 for the first time this year. I ended up catching a good deal that for the PS5 Slim that came with Spider-Man 2, for like $450. So it was a great deal, and I've loved it. I've loved playing the PlayStation 5. I've loved catching up on all the games. I picked up Stellar Blade. Absolutely love that game. That game is incredible. One of my favorite games of the year so far. But there's just nothing that I'm necessarily looking forward to other than third party. Like, third party usually always carries the generation anyways, but yeah, between the two major ones, not a lot going on the first party side, which is obviously it's a huge bummer, right? Xbox looking a little bit better, this year specifically, just with all their stuff, all their first party stuff finally coming to Xbox. That's been literally years of kind of waiting for anything to come to Xbox first party wise. So, but we're not talking about Xbox. I don't know. I feel like just PlayStation is in a weird time, because you have the PlayStation VR 2 that is, I mean, people didn't want to say it, but like, I kind of had a feeling that thing was going to be dead on arrival. I mean, look at the history with the first PlayStation VR. They didn't support it with any first party games, really. They had a couple, and that was it. And maybe people thought, hey, it's launching. PSVR 2 is launching with the Horizon game. They're really passionate about the VR 2. That came and went, and we haven't gotten really anything outside of some Resident. I mean, there's been VR games that have launched on the PSVR 2, but any big ones like the PlayStation, the Resident Evil games came. And then they had they just had their state of play where they only had two, and I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of abandoning the VR2 at this point. I don't think they've announced sales for this thing. I'm sure it's probably not the greatest in the world. They finally allow you to play it on the PC, which you can now play Half-Life Alyx at some point. I think it's maybe in July is when that's going to be updated. You have to buy, a separate like $60 dongle in order to use it on the PC. But then it doesn't have a lot of the PlayStation VR2 features. So, you know, a $600 piece of, or $550 or $600 on top of already spending $500 on a PlayStation 5. It's a lot to ask, and I don't know. I feel like VR is had its hype moment for a little bit, but it is like, I think it's significantly swung in the other direction as far as what people want to play. And then, the PlayStation Portal, you know, an interesting. I haven't actually had the chance to play one or touch it or anything. It's a cool looking device, but that's not what people want. They don't. They want a dedicated handheld. They want the PlayStation Vita 2 or the PSP, whatever. The fact that you can only use it on Wi-Fi, and for the longest you could only use it on like a home Wi-Fi. I think they just updated it to where you can actually use it at like a Starbucks or McDonald's, but you couldn't, because in order to connect to those Wi-Fi's, you have to connect to it, and then you have to go on the browser, and click, I agree, blah blah, the terms and conditions. You couldn't do that on the portal, but I think they just updated that, so that's good. But still, like, I'd just rather have a dedicated platform where I can just download the games. Obviously, it's not gonna be as powerful as like the base PS5, but that's what I would prefer. And that's the rumor with Xbox, is they're gonna have a handheld at some point, which could be cool. And hopefully they do it right, and not like PlayStation did. But I don't know. Feel like PlayStation kind of abandons their secondary hardware pretty quickly. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely not looking forward to the Pro. Obviously, I just got a PS5 this year, so I'm definitely not going to upgrade that. But again, I don't feel like we need an upgrade. We barely have gotten any games this generation. Maybe they're getting it ready for, Grand Theft Auto 6 when that comes out. Hey, this is the best place to play GTA 6. Play it on the PlayStation 5 Pro, whatever. So yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm super down with PlayStation, because I have enjoyed my PlayStation. But obviously, like, I'm in a different mindset because I'm catching up on all the games that I missed over the last few years. If someone got PlayStation 5 on launch, you're not gonna be in the same boat as me, because you played everything, right? So I'm a little bit higher up on PlayStation than probably most. But again, if you're excited for what's PlayStation has in store for us in the future, that's awesome. Like, I'm not, I don't do the console war drama nonsense. Like, play where you want to play. Talk about the games that you want to talk about. I don't belittle somebody because they choose to play on a certain platform. Like, at the end of the day, it's a plastic box that plays your games. Like, it's all the same stuff, right? Just different exclusives. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Are you guys excited for PlayStation right now, or are you kind of like me, where I'm just kind of waiting to get excited, right? Yeah, let me know in the comments below. And again, this is part 1. I'm going to do one on Nintendo, and I'm going to do one on Xbox. So I'll have those videos out soon. Have a great day. And remember, you can play Elden Ring any style you want. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.